Have you ever woken up one morning and just felt something was off? Maybe it was your dad who didn't get out of bed as quickly as usual, or your mom who always hummed her favorite tune in the kitchen by 7 a.m., suddenly sitting in silence with no appetite, rubbing her hands like something hurts. You tell yourself it's probably nothing. She's just tired. He's getting older. We all have off days, right? But deep down, you wonder, what if it's not just age? What if it's the start of something we all fear but never want to speak aloud? Here's the truth most people miss. The body whispers before it screams. And in seniors, those whispers often speak loudest first thing in the morning. That's right. Those first few moments after waking up might be giving you silent signals. Changes in mood, energy, breathing, pain. Things that look small on the surface but could be the earliest signs of something far more serious, like cancer. And here's the scary part. These signs are easy to ignore because they don't always show up like we think they will. They don't start with lumps or dramatic weight loss. Sometimes they start with a sigh, a struggle to sit up, a loss of appetite, a soaked bedsheet, a stiffness that wasn't there last week. And by the time most people take these signs seriously, the disease has already taken its time to grow. But what if you could notice them early? What if you could catch these changes before they became a crisis? That's exactly what we're diving into today. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 subtle but serious signs that can show up right after waking up, and that no senior, no caregiver, no family member should ever ignore. By the end, you'll know what to look for, what's normal, and what's not. And more importantly, how to respond with compassion, clarity, and action. Because at Wisdom of Longevity, we believe that knowledge isn't just power, it's love in action. Love that sees the signs others miss. Love that steps in early when there's still time to help. So before we go on, I want you to do 2 things. First, comment, "I'm here" if you're ready to learn and protect the people you love most in their golden years. I want to know you're with me. And second, subscribe to Wisdom of Longevity for more heartfelt, practical videos like this. We're here to help you navigate these delicate years with wisdom, strength, and care. All right, let's talk about the first sign. It might seem like nothing at first, but it could be the most important clue your loved one is giving you. Sign 1, persistent morning fatigue. Picture this. Your grandfather used to be up at the crack of dawn. He loved the quiet hours before the world woke up, tending to his garden, watering the plants, sipping on a hot cup of tea while watching the sunrise. But lately, it's different. Now, even after what seems like a full night's rest, 8, sometimes even 9 hours, he wakes up exhausted. Not the "I just need a few more minutes" kind of tired, but a deep, dragging fatigue that doesn't lift, even by midday. He tries to push through, says he's just getting older, but you can tell something isn't right. Here's what most people don't know. Cancer-related fatigue isn't like normal tiredness. It's not about needing more sleep or a better mattress. It happens because the body is silently fighting a war inside, diverting energy to feed or resist abnormal cell growth, or due to disruptions in how the body produces red blood cells, which carry oxygen. And it doesn't matter how much rest you get. The exhaustion lingers. This is where families often miss the mark. They say, "He's just slowing down," or "Maybe he's depressed." And yes, those are possible too. But when that heavy tiredness hits first thing in the morning, day after day, that's a whisper you shouldn't ignore. Here's something you can do. Start a fatigue journal. Write down how your loved one feels when they wake up every day. Note patterns, track how long the fatigue lasts, and how it affects daily activities. If it continues for more than 2 weeks, bring it to a doctor. You're not overreacting, you're being proactive. And sometimes that's all it takes to catch something early. But tiredness isn't the only morning warning sign. Because sometimes your breath can say what your words don't. Sign 2, unexplained morning breathlessness. You walk into your mother's room and you hear it. That faint gasp, the shallow, quick breaths before she even sits up. She waves you off, says she had a strange dream. Or maybe the room was stuffy. She brushes it aside, but you feel it, that sense that something's off. Morning breathlessness can be subtle. It might show up as a short sigh or a slight struggle to climb out of bed. But here's what could be happening beneath the surface. Certain cancers, especially lung, blood, or those affecting the lymphatic system, can reduce oxygen levels in the blood. Others may cause fluid buildup around the lungs or heart. In the early stages, these changes are quiet, almost invisible. They don't show up during the day when your loved one is up and moving. But in the stillness of morning, when the body's been lying flat for hours, they speak up. And here's where the danger lies. Most people blame it on age, snoring, a cold, maybe allergies. But breathlessness, especially without activity, especially when it happens regularly in the mornings, that's not something to brush aside. Take action. Observe their breathing for 1 full week. Note if the shortness of breath happens while lying down, or if it improves when they sit up. Are they pale? Do their lips ever look a little bluish? These details matter. If you see a pattern, call your physician. You might just be catching something far earlier than anyone else would have. But the breath is only part of the story. Sign 3, sudden morning weight loss or appetite drop. It's Monday morning, you open the fridge to make breakfast, and there it is. Your dad's favorite food, still untouched from last week. You ask him about it, and he shrugs. "I'm just not hungry lately," he says. "It's nothing. Maybe it's the heat, but something about that doesn't sit right with you." Here's what you need to know. In the early stages, some cancers suppress hunger hormones. Others cause metabolic changes that affect digestion or create a sensation of early fullness. This is why a once hearty breakfast lover might now skip meals altogether, especially in the morning, when appetite should naturally rise after a night of fasting. You might notice it slowly. Their favorite cereal box goes untouched. The eggs are left half-eaten, and then their clothes seem looser. Their belt is on a tighter notch. This is where families often misjudge. They say, "Well, seniors just don't eat as much." Or, "Maybe he's stressed." But if the weight is falling off without effort and the appetite is vanishing with it, that's more than just aging. Here's what you can do. Encourage light but nutritious breakfasts. Think protein shakes, soft-boiled eggs, slices of avocado. Offer food in small portions several times a day. But more importantly, track the weight. If your loved one is losing pounds without trying, call your healthcare provider immediately. Because this sign, though quiet, can speak volumes. And speaking of the body, there's another warning sign that shows up before your loved one even leaves the bed. A symptom you might never see unless you're really paying attention. Sign 4, night sweats or morning-drenched sheets. You're folding laundry for your elderly aunt, something you've done many times before. You pull back the sheets and realize they're damp again. At first you think, maybe she spilled something. Maybe it's just a humid night, but it keeps happening. You ask gently and she laughs it off. "Oh, it's just the weather, sweetheart," she says. "I'm fine." But are you? Because when someone consistently wakes up in damp sheets, soaked pajamas, or complains of waking up cold and clammy, it could be more than just a warm night or a tossed blanket. Night sweats, especially those that leave clothes or bedding drenched, can be one of the earliest signs of lymphoma and certain other cancers. These sweats aren't caused by temperature or room conditions. They happen because the body is under stress internally. The immune system is trying to respond to abnormal cell activity, and in doing so, it can throw off the body's temperature regulation. And here's what often happens. People assume it's just menopause, or they say, maybe it was just a weird dream. Some even blame spicy food or an extra blanket. But when these sweats happen repeatedly, without any other explanation, that's not something to ignore. There's no need to panic, but there is a need to observe. Here's what you can do. Document how often it happens. Keep track of how soaked the sheets or pajamas get. Check for other symptoms like fatigue, weight loss, or swollen lymph nodes. And if this is happening more than twice a week with no sign of fever, infection, or another clear cause, it's time to talk to a healthcare provider. You're not being overcautious, you're being attentive. And when it comes to our aging loved ones, that kind of attention can make all the difference. But there's one more sign you should know about. It's one that's so easy to overlook because it feels familiar. It's part of what we assume comes with getting older, until it doesn't go away. Sign 5, consistent morning aches or stiffness. You hear it every morning, that soft groan, the creak of the mattress, the long pause before your loved one sits up. You watch them hold their back, rub their legs, slowly swing their feet to the floor. You ask if they're okay, and they give the usual answer. It's just these old bones. But something's changed. This isn't the occasional morning ache from sleeping wrong. This is every morning, and it's getting worse. They never had arthritis before, but now they move like they do. And here's what's often missed. Some cancers, like those affecting the bones, blood, or even internal organs like the pancreas, can cause inflammation or nerve pressure that leads to deep, persistent pain. This pain is often most noticeable in the morning, after lying still all night. And it doesn't go away after stretching or walking it off. Most of us chalk it up to aging. We assume stiffness and soreness come with the territory of getting older. And yes, some of it does, but new, persistent, or worsening pain, especially when it wasn't there before, should raise a flag, especially if the pain interferes with basic activities. Getting dressed, standing up, walking to the bathroom. If those morning routines become a struggle, it's time to pay closer attention. Here's something simple you can do. Track the pain. Where does it hurt? How long does it last? Does it get better after moving, or does it stay the same? Write it down, and if the pain sticks around for more than a couple of weeks, or if it seems to be spreading, bring it to a doctor. Don't wait for it to become unbearable, because pain, especially in the morning, can be your body's way of waving a red flag. These signs, fatigue, breathlessness, weight loss, night sweats, morning pain, they whisper, they nudge, they show up quietly, hoping someone's paying attention. And now you are, and that matters more than you know. It's never easy to face the possibility that something might be wrong with someone you love. And the hardest part? It doesn't always come with flashing lights or dramatic symptoms. Sometimes it's something as small as a yawn that lasts too long, a plate of untouched food, a sigh that is just a little too heavy. You see these things, and a part of you wonders, is this just age, or is it something more? And then you question yourself. You don't want to be overreacting. You don't want to scare them or yourself. But the truth is, these small, quiet changes can be the body's first cry for help. And I know it's heartbreaking, because seeing someone you love grow weaker, move slower, feel less like themselves, that shakes you in a way that's hard to explain. But here's the shift I want you to hold on to. Fear doesn't help. Preparedness does. You don't need to panic. You need to pay attention. You don't need to diagnose. You just need to notice. Because noticing is powerful. Noticing means you care. And caring gives you a chance to catch something before it becomes something bigger. Early signs mean early options. Early signs mean early treatment. Early signs mean hope. So don't look away. Don't wait until it's too obvious or too late. Instead, check in. Ask questions gently. Offer to take notes, go to appointments, or just listen. You'd be surprised how much peace your presence brings, because in so many cases, the difference between a delayed diagnosis and a hopeful future is someone like you. You don't need a medical degree to be a lifeline. You just need compassion. You just need to see what others overlook. And if you're doing that already, then you're doing something incredibly powerful. Let's quickly recap what we covered today. The 5 early morning signs that could point to something deeper. 1. Persistent morning fatigue that doesn't go away with rest. 2. Unexplained breathlessness, even when your loved one hasn't moved. 3. A sudden drop in appetite or unexpected weight loss, especially when it shows up first thing in the day. 4. Night sweats or waking up in damp sheets, even when the room is cool. 5. New or worsening aches and stiffness in the morning that aren't part of an old injury or known condition. Each of these signs on their own might seem small, but when they show up again and again, they're worth noticing. Because noticing these signs early can be life-saving. Have you seen any of these signs in a parent, a grandparent, or maybe even yourself? Share your experience in the comments. Your story might help someone else feel less alone, or give them the courage to speak up. And if this video helped you, If it gave you something to think about, something to act on, please like it so we can keep spreading awareness. And consider subscribing to Wisdom of Longevity. Here, we're not just sharing information. We're building a caring community, one that looks out for our elders with love, patience, and wisdom. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. Stay loving, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video, right here on Wisdom of Longevity.